moon is in Aquarius, it's actually kind of a tricky placement because the moon, of course, is a watery planet. It brings about the water, the waters of the heart, which has to do with feeling, purity of feeling, and intuition. It's also related to the mind, or the manas, or the astral body. This is the body, the subtle body that goes with us from lifetime to lifetime. And these things are actually quite sensitive and emotional. At least that's how we experience them. Because we experience the heart, and because we tend to experience the heart on the surface, and we experience life on the surface of the heart is actually the emotions. And the surface of the, which also refers to the surface of the moon. Many people don't even really understand what their heart is beyond the emotions, because we're just emotional. We feel this, then we feel that, we feel this, we feel that. Sometimes it's a very big feeling, sometimes it's a very dark feeling. But deeper than all of the emotions is the depth of feeling in the heart that's much more primal and much more basic. And so that's what we're trying to do with the moon. And in Aquarius, it's ruled by Saturn, and Aquarius is an air sign where we're sort of analyzing ideas. It's a fixed sign, and actually the fixed signs tend to stabilize even the moon, but it tends to stabilize or fix the emotions on a certain idea. And so you tend to look at the moon in different environments to see what's going to influence the heart the most. Like when the moon is in fire signs, it's going to be activity. When it's in earth signs, it's about sort of comfort and structure, which is good. When it's in water signs, it's about feeling. When it's in air signs, it's about ideas. So many times when the moon is in any air sign, whether that's Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, feelings become ideas very quickly, almost instantaneously. And these feelings becoming ideas can create a confusion, because again, a feeling is just, it's a feeling, it's simple, it doesn't have an explanation. Explanations tend to carry us away from the feeling itself. The feeling is primal and subtle, and if we stay with the feeling, eventually we sink deeper than the feeling. If we just sit with the feeling, no matter how painful it is, if we just sit with it, eventually it changes, because the waves change, just like when you're watching water. One wave, it eventually dissolves into the infinite. It eventually disappears into the ocean. So any time we're with a feeling, if we stay with it, it'll eventually sublimate. And if we can just sit with it for a long time, it will continue to, it can eventually lead us to the truth of the heart. Again, when the moon is in Aquarius, it is a fixed sign, but it's like fixed ideas. And Aquarius can be very fixed in their ideas. Not just Aquarius person, but planets in Aquarius are very fixed in their ideas, which is good for many things, especially, causes that outlive us, things that endure for a long time, ideas that endure for a long time. That's what Aquarius is. That's why it's related to politics and social causes and things that outlive us and endure, especially ideas and social structures that endure for a long time, right? But there's also the pressure of Saturn, like the pressure to, of like culture. Aquarius often feels the pressure of culture, the pressure of the individual having to serve the many. Again, these are complex issues, and the moon is not complex. It's very simple. It's like, how do I feel? So, moon and Aquarius can tend to get carried away by these things and kind of get stuck in ideas, which create vata. So, the moon is very impressionable, and it's certainly impressionable to airy things. It creates vata. It says in the scriptures that the moon is watery and windy. So, as the moon gets closer to the sun in the chart, it becomes more vata, and in particular when it gets in air signs as well, it can become vata. It can become, sort of carried away in too many thoughts, too many ideas. Now, of course, the strength and power in this is that it makes people very sensitive to culture and those things that I just mentioned, because the moon is where we're going to be sensitive to things. But again, with the air, because air is trying to connect through ideas, And the moon is like it's like our heart that is best when we feel in possession of it ourselves, when we feel landed in whatever the feeling is. And, certain planets do much better in Aquarius. Of course, planets like Mercury, Venus, and Saturn, which actually rule air signs. The moon, again, because we're trying to really connect with our intuition and our deeper feeling, can tend to get carried away. So, if you know people who have that, or you have that, it's obviously a powerful placement. All placements are. But you want to know that you can tend to instantly turn feelings into thoughts and sort of want to project those thoughts into something really big, which can be sort of stressful as well, like worried about the nature of the world. I've seen many times people who have moon in Aquarius, they get kind of carried away with like conspiracy theories or things that are bigger, things that scare them, because the moon is where we're also easily scared. And Moon and Saturn are not friendly, so this stress and pressure of Aquarius, it's like, oh my God, there's all this big culture and this, these cultures and these things that I can't feel and it feels ungrounded. So especially getting kind of ungrounded around those kinds of things. So as I say, one of the powerful things about it is that it is a fixed sign. So coming back, and especially with the breath, because breath is related to air, those deep breaths, and really ground in deep breathing. Breathing is really, really, really important for people who have moon and air signs. That deep breath, that deep pranayama, like that Kapalabhati, or that deep, like, whoo, especially throwing out the toxic air like I just did with the Kapalabhati. You hear that? That's my lungs making that sound. It's like pushing out the toxic air. Very important. So if you know people that have that one, you might suggest that. But again, there's a lot of strength and intuition and power. You often see people who are very good healers with that, particularly if it's Shatabishak Nakshatra, which is very much about healing. Shatabishak means 100 doctors, 100 medicines. So this is a very interesting and powerful placement, but you have to be careful not to get ungrounded and a lot of vata going on if you have that one.